Hi everyone, this is Arlene from Design with Arlene, and I'm back after a very long hiatus. But let me get started. I've got a card for you that's going to be really fun using some new products. I always love new products. When the new catalog comes out, I'm just, itching to get to use those new products. So this is one of them. So I'm going to be showcasing the stamp set called Wonderful World. This is a celebration stamp set that you can earn for free. Right now, celebration is going on with Stampin' Up! And then there's also coordinating paper, and this is called Wonderful World Designer Series paper. It's a bundle, so you get both the Designer Series paper, a package of that with a stamp for free. You earn that when you purchase. This is for $100 in sales here in the US. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started, and I will show you the other products that I'm using, including another stamp set. The other stamp set that I'm using is called The Very Best Occasions. This is in the new mini catalog, so this will be available through December of this year. And then the die cuts that I'm using, along with the stamp sets, this is the rectangle stitched framelits dies. So I'm using that. And then for paper, I'm going to be using, for a card base, this is a piece of rich raspberry, and this is cut lengthwise from an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So it's cut at 4 1/4, and then I've scored it at 5 1/2, and then I've also scored it down here at 2 3/4, right here at the bottom. That's our card base. And then let me show you some of the other pieces of cardstock that I'll be using. I've got 2 pieces, and this is the Orchid Oasis. This is one of the new in colors for this year. And then I also have 2 pieces of Designer Series paper, cut just slightly smaller. And that's going to be fitting onto our cardstock. I will have the dimensions on my blog too. So you can always go there to get all the information for as far as the measurements goes. And then I have a piece of basic white cardstock that's just going to fit inside inside the card. So it's cut slightly less than the size of the the base of the card. Set that aside here. And then with the I have a piece of scrap basic white cardstock, and then with the rectangle dies, I've cut a piece of rich raspberry, and then a smaller piece of the basic white cardstock. All right, let's go ahead and get stamping and put this card together. All right, I'm starting with this particular stamp from the set, and I am going to be using the Pear Pizzazz as well as the Orchid Oasis stamp pads for this. And I got my blending brushes out, and I'm going to be using them to apply the ink directly onto the stamp. So I'm going to start with the Orchid Oasis color. So by using these blending brushes, I know that I'm not going to get exact onto this card, but that's kind of like a brush look is what I want. So I'm just going to dab that on to the flower part, like that. And then take my other blending brush, and with the Pear Pizzazz, go around onto the stems. Hope this works. Okay, and I see another part of the flower right here on the edge. I just want to make sure I get that covered. So, okay. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and place this and stamp that smaller piece of the basic white that I cut. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so there it turned out like that. See the detail in this stamp? I love these kind of stamps. They're just very detailed. All right, and then I'm going to set that aside, and then using the scrap piece of basic white that I have, I'm using this stamp, and then I'll be using the rich raspberry. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Now I'm only going to be using really this part, so if I don't get everything stamped up, that's okay. I just really want that flower part. All right, there's that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this kind of dry a little bit, and then I'll cut around the flower. Now I'm going to take this piece of the basic white. This is the inset to go into the inside of my card. So I believe this is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. I made it 1/4 of an inch smaller. And taking, go back to using my Orchid Oasis, I think. And I got the little saying from the other stamp set, which is, that's the very best occasions. This is a really nice stamp set, like an all around. People have asked me, you know, I just, for a really good sentiment stamp set that has a lot, this is a really nice one. It's got, it has like holidays, and it's got, you know, kind of a sympathy, happy birthday. So if you're looking for a nice stamp set all around occasion, this is a really nice one to get. This is in the new mini catalog. So this is going to go about halfway here. Okay, so we'll do that. We're going to do something with that later on, but I'm going to set that aside for now. And I think I'm done with my stamp pads. All right, let's go ahead and put this card together. So I'm taking these 2 pieces of cardstock here, and then I'm going to just go ahead and let's glue this down. Let's see here. As I glue this down, it's kind of a funny story. I have been missing in action a little bit because just been busy with work and just other things. But before you know it, you know, time's gone by. So I'm actually right now, it's before I go to work in the morning. So, but I got these cards together and I thought, let me hurry up. I've been wanting to make a video for you guys for a long time. So this is good. I have another one. I actually have another 2 cards already lined up. So, okay, now we'll put the glue on. And we're going to put this one at the top of this, above the score line here. And this one's going to go below it. Like this. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece of basic white cardstock to the inside of the card. There we go, like that. And I'll glue a little bit more. There we go. All right. This will go onto the Rich Razzleberry rectangle. And before I attach it to the card front, I want to add a little bit of, this glittered organdy ribbon. This is really pretty. It's just kind of a little bit of iridescent sparkles in there. And I just took a length of it and I knotted it on each side and then I cut it. So it was a circle like this. This is how I like to make my knots. It makes it a little easier for me. And then I just trim it here like this. And then I'm going to just adhere it onto this. So I'm going to make sure that I need to trim this shorter. About like that, and then flip it over, and you can either put a piece of use it like some Scotch tape if you want to, or you can use your adhesive. I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure that you kind of got it about where you want it. Make sure it's nice and secure there. Hold on to it on the front, and then put some tape on the back on both sides. Like that right there. And then take some Stampin' Dimensionals, of course. I think I use them on just about every card that I make. Let's see here. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere it onto here, but I want to make sure that I'm only putting the Stampin' Dimensionals or glue if you just want to adhere it onto, but make sure it's only touching the bottom half of your card. Because if you were to put it on to both sides, then it wouldn't fold up like we want it to. So let's go ahead and just use these Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to attach this piece onto the card. Okay, and then that way when you fold this up, it's going to stand up like that. So the next thing we want to do is we want to position it where we want it to stand when when it's laying down and have it stand, but we need something to keep it there from folding flat, right? That is where your piece comes in. This is where I cut this with and cut it out. It's a smaller piece. Again, you want to make sure that you use Stampin' Dimensionals because it needs to pop up a little bit so it can hold that front of that card folded up like that. So I'm just gonna position it here. About like that. There we go. Look at that. So it's gonna sit like that. And turn it so you can see. And then it folds flat, so you can just, you know, put it in the mail, put it in an envelope, and give it to that special person. So here's the card for today. Oh, I do have one more thing. I need to add these. These are these little red and green adhesive pearls. And I had my tweezers around handy somewhere, but I don't see them. So let me just go ahead and add. I wanted to add, I think I'm going to add silver this time. This does work better with these new tweezers that I have. So those come in. We've actually, yay, we have an embossing, it's like a little embossing bucket kind of thing. So when you're embossing, you just pour it into the bucket and you can pour it back into your jar, which is super awesome. Put a little bit up here. That comes in a 3-pack. There's that along with the tweezers. And we have our embossing buddy back, you guys. Super fun. So that comes in a set of, it's $27. It's in the new mini catalog, which I think you'll really love. It's a tool that I do use definitely a lot. Okay, so I added some of these little pearls, and again, it opens up like that and it folds flat. So I hope you guys enjoy this card made with some new products. Be looking forward for some new videos coming out. Like I said, I have 2 more in the works lined up. And then of course my Facebook Friday, which is out this Friday, which would be it's coming up, the 29th, I believe. That will be a new one too. So check out Design with Arlene on Facebook. I will be Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.